Hi, everybody. It's Eric Murray from SugarHuddle.com. Well, not surprisingly, the Patriots took care of business on Monday night, beating the Buffalo Bills 25-6 in Buffalo. It was a little surprising though, because the Patriots definitely didn't bring their A game. It was more of a B minus C plus effort. But playing the struggling Bills, that's all you really need right now. And you got to give Buffalo some credit because they went to Minnesota and upset them earlier in the year. Had a surprise win over Tennessee a few weeks later, and then of course in this one they had plenty of opportunities to win it. They did a tremendous job in the first half of holding the Patriots to field goals, even though New England had plenty of promising drives. Eventually, it was 9-3 at the half, and Buffalo was able to drive downfield and get a field goal after a nice Micah Hyde punt return to make it 9-6. And then, of course, eventually, the Patriots got an opportunity to really, kind of hate to say put the game away, but basically put the game away after the Derek Anderson strip sack, and after 22-yard completion to Rob Gronkowski, which was upheld on the review. He just barely got both feet in bounds. Patriots had to settle for a field goal, and all of a sudden it's a 12-6 ball game. But Buffalo just couldn't do anything offensively. Eventually, the Patriots, after kind of a mediocre outing, couldn't run the ball, anything like that. Brady started coming alive. Of course, we've seen so many teams that struggle with the defending the underneath stuff with the Patriots, of course, with Julian Edelman and James White, and both those guys had a heck of a game. Edelman had 9 catches, 104 yards. White had 10 for 79, so that was kind of a big difference in this one. And eventually, the Patriots got a touchdown, made it 18-6, and then later on, a pick six. But anyhow, it wasn't an amazing effort by the Patriots by any means, but they did what they needed to do down the stretch. Brady did what he needed to do down the stretch. He was locked out of the end zone in this one. But overall, defense had a really, really nice outing, and you kind of expected that against a struggling Bills team with no offensive line, no running game, just 46 rushing yards, gave up the 3 sacks. And, of course, Derek Anderson, the longtime veteran quarterback who just was signed off the street by Buffalo a couple weeks ago, but he was okay in this one, 22 of 39, 290 yards and a pick. So he had some decent moments, but, again, couldn't put it in the end zone for him. But overall, New England, you expect them to win big. Depending on, where you look, the spread was anywhere between 13.5 and 14.5 points. We'll just call it 2 touchdowns. And again, you knew that New England was going to come into Buffalo and win this one. Remember Tom Brady, he's now 29-3 all time against the Bills. So, somehow, some way they were going to get the job done, and that's exactly what happened. But, looking at from the Buffalo point of view, they don't really have any viable receivers. Kelvin Benjamin is their number one guy, and really not much of a number one. Doesn't consistently create separation. Of course, even when he doesn't always catch the ball. Work ethic issues as far as not being in shape. Maybe even a little bit desire issues, you could say. So, he's kind of a bum to a certain extent, and also has some immaturity and attitude problems. And outside of that, you have guys who are really just guys. You have Zay Jones, who hasn't developed into the kind of guy you hoped he would, and even with better quarterback play, I don't see him doing a whole lot better. And then Andre Holmes, who of course has bounced around a little bit, was in Oakland, and now of course he's been in Buffalo for a short while, so don't really have a whole lot there. Charles Clay has been a pretty good tight end for them, but again, with no quarterbacks, it's not going to do you much. And of course, Derek Anderson got injured on the next to last play, so that means Nathan Peterman might be the starter this Sunday against the Bears, which will be yet another tough game. So it's gonna be tough sledding for the Buffalo Bills going forward. Now they're 2-6, and not really a positive end in sight. But the thing about it is, we've got some promising pieces defensively. You're gonna have a high draft pick. The secondary, after having such a great year last year, continues to struggle this year. Really, really surprising, and adding some depth there. Maybe getting another cornerback. You have opportunity to do that through the draft. Big things would be offensive line. If you can invest the money this offseason and get a couple of good offensive linemen, all of a sudden you could kind of turn it around, a la Cincinnati, the way the Bengals were able to turn around this year. And the main things could be getting a receiver. Of course, the quarterback situation, Josh Allen and company, that's still way up in the air. But if you get them more weapons, if you can start running the ball again, which again would entail getting an actual offensive line and doing a little bit more defensively, then you're a team that all of a sudden you could make a 9-7 run to the playoffs again. And it might not be 2019, maybe it's more like 2020, but they're a team that's probably not as far away as a lot of these other struggling teams are, like anything about the Arizona Cardinals and some of these other franchises. So probably a lot closer than you think. But again, quarterback, who knows? And it's going to take a lot, of course, in a league with an offensive lineman shortage to fix that line. And again, you got to find a couple legit receivers. Buffalo hasn't had any legit wideouts in quite some time. So, we'll see. But, it's going to take some patience. And of course, on the New England side of things, again, they're going to have to bring more of an A game this Sunday night because, of course, they play the Green Bay Packers. Brady and Rodgers, that should be a very exciting matchup. New England's won 5 in a row, and you knew this was going to happen after the 1-2 start. They weren't going to lose a bunch of games. They were going to go on a nice run. Won 5 in a row. Of course, they had the impressive win recently against Kansas City, beat Chicago last week, and now this win, not a great win, but a win is a win, and that's what all matters in the NFL. And anyways, Brady and Rodgers, that should be a great matchup on Sunday night in Foxborough, and it's definitely one of those games where whoever has the ball last is going to win. So again, you're going to have to bring your A game, but for Green Bay, that'll be a must-win, and for the Patriots, it'll be a great opportunity to make another important statement. So we'll see. But, New England, their defense still has a lot of issues, but they get a lot of takeaways, and that's a big thing. That's what they've done in the past. The last couple of years, they bent quite a bit and even broke a little bit on defense, but the main thing is they got the takeaways, and that's, something that kind of kept the score down a little bit or was enough for them to, kind of hang on and seal ball games, and that's what you still kind of see in this one, and that's what they were able to do last night against the Buffalo Bills. But defense will still be an issue for them, but as long as they keep getting takeaways, they'll be able to hang in there. And the thing is, offensively, not surprisingly, Brady and his receivers are starting to gel again and starting to get on the same page. Offensive line has played a lot better lately as far as protecting the quarterback. And then for running game, obviously with Sony Michel's injury, that was a major setback last night, but generally speaking, they've really been pounding the rock well. So New England, not surprisingly, they're doing what we kind of thought they would do, and it'll be very interesting to see what happens against Packers Sunday night. A much more challenging game, their most challenging game in a few weeks, because Chicago is above average, but I think the Kansas City game was obviously a much more important win for New England. So going to be a big game against Green Bay, and we'll see what happens. But New England, they still got some work to do, but they're going to be right there in the AFC as we expect them to be. And just finally, on a side note, the most entertaining thing I think to come out of this night after a semi-underwhelming game, 25-6 is what the final was. Bills Mafia, they're the craziest fans, they're awesome fans, and their tailgates are legendary, and they got a little bit wild before the game, and ESPN, the censors couldn't prevent some of the F-bombs at the Bills tailgate, which is pretty awesome. And of course, during the game, and the Bills fans have done this before at home, a dildo was thrown onto the field. So when that's the most entertaining thing to happen in this game, that kind of goes to show you that the game itself was kind of a dog. But anyways, those are my thoughts from the Monday night game with the Bills and the Patriots. Again, Patriots won 25-6. They're now 6-2, 5-game winning streak. And anyways, please go to thesugarhuddle.com. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also go to my Facebook page, which is The Sugar Huddle, and spread the word. Thank you.